The Canadian Islander fan is back in Canada after 2 weeks of fun in the sun in Mexico. Hola, hola, amigo, ¿cómo está? Dos cervezas, por favor. And that's pretty much all you need to know when you go to Mexico. And it was a fun-filled time. And I was happy and sad at the same time, kind of exactly what I predicted was going to happen. All the fun podcasts for me happened while I was down in Mexico as the Islanders went 5-2 just as I was hoping they would do to get themselves back into this thing, which they completely are back into the playoff race and back into playoff picture. So you got to be happy about that. I had a fantastic time in Mexico. I caught all the 10-minute recaps. I got to see a lot of stuff and I kept in touch with the guys on my message board and they kind of filled me in with all the things that were going on. Uh, I had a great time down in Mexico. I wish I had a story for you here. As you can see, I've lost a tooth. And that's not actually losing a tooth. Those are actually my top ones are dentures. But I was drunk one night in the room and dropped my dentures on the floor. I wish I had a fight story for you or a hockey story for you or something. But all the floors in Mexico are marble, and poof, there goes the tooth. So anyway, here I am, kind of doing it as a kind of maybe I look like a hockey player while I'm doing this. So that works for me. So anyway, I guess we should get into the game. I would like to talk a little bit about Downers. Like I said, I saw all the 10-minute recaps of the games, which basically just shows all the highlights of the game. So you pretty much even can see the ebbs and flows of the game going on. And I thought the Islanders looked really great. I really did. However, I did pick up some things that I'll talk about later in this podcast that I noticed from a few players and some not so good. But overall, I think you got to be pretty happy with the Islanders. Tonight was a tough one. New York Islanders fall to the Minnesota Wild 6-3 it was a crazy kind of game, deflections. D'Angelo had two goals, one off the back of his leg, and a beauty picked the well, the right hand corner there. Hell of a shot by D'Angelo on that one. Ilya didn't have a chance. And then two deflections, which also Ilya didn't have a chance on either, and an empty net goal. So it was just one of those weird games. And in actuality, tonight's game was one of those games that makes hockey such a beautiful game. And one of the things that I love about hockey so much, it worked against us tonight, but it just shows you how a team can be so out of a game and get one fluky bounce off the back of a defenseman's leg and into the net, and then all of a sudden the momentum on the team just picks up, and they took over. They basically took over after that point. And it was I'm not going to get mad at the Islanders. I saw a ton of effort from them in the first two periods. Like they were playing almost playoff hockey. They were giving it everything they had. You could tell they were just laying it out. They knew they had their 2 week break and they were going to give it everything they had, and they did. In the third period, they just ran out of gas and they kind of wilted. But that I think is because they gave everything they had. And it's amazing when you have something bad like what happened to the Islanders in the second period happen to you, how much it can zap strength out of your body. I can tell you right now, like traveling is not easy. You're gonna have to monitor this podcast with what I say because I'm a little bit loopy right now. I'm really suffering from jet lag pretty bad. It was a 14-hour travel day yesterday. I got in pretty late at night, so I'm a little bit loopy myself. So anyway, let's talk about the game. So it didn't start the way we wanted, that's for sure. An early goal by Minnesota, which was about the last thing we needed to happen, and Marco Rossi scores his 19th of the year from Boldy and Spurgeon. Spurgeon always seems to come back to haunt us. I watched Spurgeon in juniors and I was so happy he was an Islander, and how we let him get away, I will just never know. However, how exciting is it when 13 seconds later, Kyle Palmieri just turns the tables on him just like that, gets his 16th of the year from Nelson and Siplikov. A beautiful shot by Palms, and it's nice to see that Palms is starting to pick up again. I kind of predicted that when Siplikov and Nelson and Palmieri got reunited, it would bring life back to both Brock and Palms, which it absolutely 100% has done. So all of a sudden, we're right back in the game. It's 1-1, and the Islanders are looking great. Like they're flying. They were flying in that first period. They were flying in the second period until everything went wrong, and they were looking really great. And they were giving a whole lot of effort, and it paid off early in the second period. Brock Nelson on just a sweet, sweet pass by Max Ziplikov. That was just such a beauty. Gustafson didn't even have a hope on that. And Paul Mary picks up the second point of the night with an assist as well. That was a gorgeous goal. Absolutely gorgeous goal. And another gorgeous goal was Anders Lee when we made it 3-1. What a play by Perunovic. Like, holy cow. That was amazing. Like it so looked like he was going over to Horvat. I mean, even I thought he was going over to Horvat, and that little backhand dish to Anders was a thing of beauty. And Anders, no hesitation, was his team leading 23rd, and Perunovic already picking up seventh assists. So he's doing pretty good. Mind you, he had some games in St. Louis as well, and he got some of those assists there. But then everything changes on the power play, and the Islanders or PK has, well, it's been number one in the league since January, and they've been awesome. And they had a terrific kill. They had a terrific kill, but right at the end, Frederick Gaudreau throws a hope and a wing and a prayer at the net, goes off Romanov's back of his leg, which was just a crazy kind of deflection, and boom, all of a sudden they've got a power play goal, and there's life. There's life for Minnesota. And hockey is just one of those strange games. When you get a goal like that, it can just bring the whole bench up and get excited. And it's kind of exactly what happened. And Yakov Trenin ties the game up for Middleton. And well, I can't even say that, and I'm not even going to try it. I probably couldn't in practice. But anyway, so anyway, all of a sudden it's 3-3, just like that. No, I guess the 3-3 goal was Boldy from Brodin and Spurgeon. But on the Trennan goal, the lazy behind the back blind pass that Duclair made to get that fourth goal scored against us and get us hemmed in like that was absolutely atrocious. I cannot believe that he saw ice time again after that play. I mean, that was so bad. Please, somebody tell me what Duclair has brought to this team. He's brought absolutely nothing but turnovers from what I see, turnovers and lazy play. And just unacceptable. If there was one Islander who had a super bad game tonight, it was Duclair. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen many good games from the games that I've seen with Duclair. Now, a lot of his games were played while I was in Mexico. That's seven of them. I mean, he was injured for a lot, but still, he is bringing nothing to the Islanders right now. Absolutely nothing. So there's the Islanders kind of devastated after two periods. I mean, that sucks the energy out of you. It gives all the energy to Minnesota going into the third period. Of course, you try to regroup when you go in between that second and third period and go, look, guys, let's just keep playing the way we've been playing, and this game's going to work out all right for us. And I do believe that that was the crying call in the dressing room when they got in there. Unfortunately, the one thing they lost was energy, and Minnesota really took it to us. The shots were 8-1 when Matt Boldy scores his 20th. But how did he score his 20th? Well, Tony DeAngelo picks the right-hand corner off Ilya. Ilya didn't have a chance on that. It was just one of those, it was one of those games. Two deflections. Uh, DeAngelo shoots one in the net. DeAngelo has another one go off the back of his legs. So an empty netter, and really only one really kind of goal that maybe Ilya could have stopped. And if it hadn't been for Declare's moron play, that play would have never happened in the first place anyway. So, but just to end the night off in typical fashion was just a blind whack at a backhand puck, and Foligno gets an empty net goal unassisted. So, there was a lot of good things I saw from the Islanders tonight. I'm not going to be mad at them for falling. It was too bad because when it was 3-1, the out of town scores were really falling our way tonight. Like we could have been 2 points out of a playoff spot in a cluster with so many teams. And just because we lost doesn't mean we're out of it. But this was going to be a huge night for us with a victory. If we had got this victory, we would have moved up on a lot of teams that we're competing with, and the Rangers would have come up with us instead of passing us. So. It's really unfortunate, but it's also fortunate at the same time because we didn't really lose a lot tonight. We only lost the Rangers passing us, and what was it? Who beat Columbus? They moved ahead. So uh, yeah, other than that, oh, I guess no, I guess that was the Ranger game. The Rangers beat Columbus. So, yeah. Anyway, it's not a devastating night for us. Is as bad as it feels because the way the game went about it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the Islanders. You have to be happy with their play, and we're definitely in this. We're definitely in with this. We'll regroup over the 2 weeks. We only got one player playing in the Four Nation. So we only have to worry about one injury. We only have to worry about one guy kind of being tired. So it'll be a good thing. The only problem with only having one returnee is in these cases, the players that come back from the Four Nations are on fire for the first 2 weeks when they're back because they haven't missed a beat. They didn't take 2 weeks off. They didn't go to Mexico. They didn't go to the Bahamas. They didn't do any of that stuff. So usually when big breaks like that happen, like we've seen in Olympic breaks before, the people who come back from the Olympics just tear up the NHL for the first week or two. So other than that, we just need to regroup. So anyway, let's take a look at the players. All right, let's get back at her. First up on the board is Siplikov, and what a great game he had tonight. 2 assists, and he was fantastic. He had two block shots, 3 hits. Um, there was a point when we were pressuring at the end of the second period there, and we put the pressure on for about 2.5 minutes. The Minnesota guys were out there. There was this one back check that Max made where they were going to clear the zone, and how he made that back check and got that puck away from that guy before he got out of the blue line was absolutely amazing. And then we continued to press for about another minute, as well as a couple icings that went on after that. So. Uh, Max just simply amazes me in a lot of things, things that don't stick out on the score sheet. I've never seen a guy, at least on the Islanders, as calm as Max in our own zone at making the perfect pass to get us out of our zone. Even when he's under duress, he always makes the right pass. It's just absolutely amazing to watch. That doesn't show up on the score sheet, but it's huge. It's huge to relieve pressure from your own end when you're getting pressured like that. And he seems to do it every single time. He knows when to go back. He knows when to go sideways. He knows when to go forward. It's just something to watch. And his forecheck is otherworldly. I'm telling you, he's one of the best forecheckers we've had on the Islanders as well in a long time. And matching him is Simon Holmstrom. Like Simon Holmstrom, his defense is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Had a great game tonight. Rung one off the crossbar that really could have turned the game at that point. But his forechecking, just like him and Max are almost identical when it comes to that. They're great forecheckers, they're great back checkers, they're great at defense. They hit, they interrupt, they do a lot of good things right. Unfortunately, Simon went -1 tonight, but other than that, I saw him playing a really great game tonight. He had 3 shots on net, including the one off the crossbar. He also had a hit as well tonight. Anthony Duclair, wow. Wow. I'm just seeing nothing from this guy, nothing but giveaways. That's about the only thing I've seen out of this guy since he's been on the Islanders. I don't see any kind of offensive flair or anything from him. The effort level it looks so much less than everybody else is giving on the team. I can see everybody out there working their ass off out there, and Anthony's just da di da di da di da. Here we are. I'm in my own zone. I've got my back to the blue line. I'm just gonna make a little backhand blinded pass that gets intercepted easily because no Islander was anywhere near where he was going with this backhand blind pass. And lo and behold, it's the fourth goal to go in 4-3. And the rest of the game after that goal was pretty much history. History. We had so many bad things go against us. If we could have just got out of that period 3-3, we could have regrouped, and who knows how it would have went. But Declare, to me, that was a TSN turning point. He just, uh, I don't see anything good about him at all. And how, look, he had 4 giveaways tonight. 4 giveaways. Nobody on the Islanders had two. Anthony had four. how is his ass not on the bench and glued to it? Like he's been terrible. Horvat didn't have the greatest game either. However, he got a couple of shots off. He had one giveaway tonight, but the thing about Bo was I could see the effort. It just wasn't going to be his game tonight. And so I thought overall Bo had a pretty good game. The whole team wilted in the third. So I'm kind of really talking more about the first two periods when I'm talking about these guys. But I'll go to Mark Gatcomb, and I will say Mark Gatcomb brings threefold to the Islanders of what Matt Martin does. And thank goodness we've come to that realization and I'm letting him play because that guy gives nothing but hustle. And he always just seems to be making the right play. I thought Gatcomb had a really good night tonight. He had two block shots, a couple of hits. I thought he was excellent. Pierre Engvall, for Pierre Engvall, he got 10 minutes of ice time. He's just I consider him kind of like a clumsy oaf. He never he has zero touch, zero finesse, but he tries. Sometimes he tries. I saw the effort from him tonight. He did a couple of good things by skating the puck out and whatnot, but as far as Pierre Engvall goes, tonight was a good night for Pierre, even though he had the opportunities to make some offense happen. He just screwed it up, and that's just from not having as much talent as most other players. So, but like I said, overall, pretty good game for Engvall. I thought Palms was excellent tonight. Goal and assist for 2 points, 19 minutes of ice time. Three shots on net, and he was skating. He looked good. I mean, he just looks rejuvenated out there with Max and Brock again. It's just like watching the first start of the season again tonight. And like I said, I missed seven in a row, so I'm only seeing what I saw tonight. But from what I saw from Kyle tonight, looked pretty good. And from the condensed games in the last couple of games, he's looked pretty good as well. So good job by Kyle. Anders had a beautiful goal, but he was a -2 tonight, and he only had 14 minutes of 17 seconds of ice time, but he did have six shots on net. And so it was a good game for him. The Minnesota boys came to play tonight for the Islanders. They really did. They looked good. They showed up on the score sheet. They did what they had to do. And Brock Nelson, the other Minnesota guy, goal and assists. He was a -1 tonight with 19 minutes of ice time, but he had eight shots on net tonight. Eight shots on net, one block shot and a hit as well. So just a super fantastic game from Brock. He was all over the ice tonight. You could tell he was trying to perform for his hometown folk, and I thought he did a very admirable job of it. Kyle McLean, I thought was awesome tonight as well. The effort level is always high energy with Kyle. Uh, don't really see a whole lot of mistakes from him. Got three hits out of him tonight and a blocked shot. So he's doing what you got to do on the fourth line. The fourth line was fine tonight for us. They got zeros across the board. So the fourth line did not hurt us at all tonight, not one little bit. As a matter of fact, they were actually really good. Pajot. I saw the effort level in the first two periods, but Pager leaves me shaking my head sometimes. He attempts these passes, and there was two really brutal ones tonight that just have zero chance of completing yet, and he can see that that pass is not going to work, yet he still tries it. And for the love of me, I can't figure out why. It's either he's just feels like he's got no other choice and he's gonna take a hit or whatever it is. But like, dude, you got to stop making these passes when you know there's no hope of completing that pass, and then more than likely it's going to be a takeaway. So just don't do it. Eat the puck. Eat the puck, take the hit. And I know Pager's not scared to take a hit. It's just like just little brain farts like that. It's like you can't afford to do that, JG. I thought Sazik has had a really good night tonight. I saw a lot of hustle out of him tonight. He had one shot on net, two block shots, and two hits as well. So kind of a typical kind of Casey game. But I just thought he was playing high energy, and he was one of those guys that was giving it his all. He was emptying the tank for tonight's game, knowing that he has probably a beautiful sunny beach vacation coming up. So really good game by Casey tonight. Adam Pelech +1 tonight, 24 minutes of ice time. Three shots on net, one hit. really nice game by Pellick, I thought. D'Angelo, rough night, man. Rough night. Like minus three, 22 minutes of ice time, two shots on net, three block shots. Uh, it's hard to sit like totally blame a guy for a puck going off the back of his leg. Now the one shooting in the net, like he did, that was just bonehead. But like Thomas Hickey said, things like that happen, and they do happen. But I will say this: this is the first game that I saw Boquist, D'Angelo, and Perunovic all together, and our defense overall looks so much more mobile than it did before. However, it also comes with its warts, that's for sure. Cholosky, I didn't really notice him, and I just found out why I didn't really notice him because he played 2 minutes and 52 seconds of ice tonight. He only got four shifts. So I guess not a lot to say about Cholosky. I'm thinking he must have done something that Patrick saw, and I don't know why he's getting punished when Duclair is not being punished. That's the only part that doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to do it to one, do it to the other. I mean, seriously, we could not have done any worse by putting Duclair on the bench tonight than what he was. Perunovic, wow. This guy is super mobile. And the one that I think the biggest thing I noticed was on the power play and how much better our power play looked tonight. And I think it was for two reasons that I can think of. One, it's not running through Barzell. And sometimes some things just don't work. And it was like Butch and Brendan were saying tonight, the guys are not going through Barzell for everything. So they're trying different things and they're being imaginative. But the second thing I think was the biggest is I absolutely love how Perunovic walks the line. His walking the line is spectacular, and D'Angelo is pretty good at it as well. But the biggest difference for our power play and why it's looking a little bit better is because every time Perunovic walks the line like that, he's making those defensive guys move, and they're getting tired out quicker. They never got tired out against us because we just set up a pentagram and just pass it around, and the four guys just basically stood in their posts and would never get tired on the penalty kill against us. So, uh, love seeing that out of Perunovic tonight. He had an assist tonight, was a plus two. Also picked up a penalty, got one shot on net and three block shots. So overall, I thought it was a really good game by Perunovic. I thought Alex Romanov. He logged 27 minutes of ice time. I thought he was good tonight. I love the way he's shooting. He didn't get any shots on net tonight, but he's shooting. The pucks weren't getting through and whatnot. But I love his no hesitation lately to seeming to shoot shots. But it's a typical Romanov game with four block shots. The minus two, not so good. But it's hard to. This is when the plus minus gets kind of weird, is when you've got goals going in I mean, what are the four other guys on the ice supposed to do when Tony D'Angelo shoots the puck into your own net? Okay, I just got a minus for that. What did I do? Right. So this was one of those games where now I'm still a believer of the plus minus because I think overall it does tell a story. However, tonight I don't think it tells any story at all. And the reason I don't think it does is because you got D'Angelo shooting in his net, deflection going off the back of his leg, two beautiful tip-ins, nothing but sometimes the hockey gods are with you, right? And they were with Minnesota tonight as they picked up the momentum in that. So the plus minus tonight is pretty. Yes, I think it's kind of deceiving tonight for anybody. Now, Boquist, this is the guy that I even noticed on the condensed highlights. Man, I think his defense is absolutely atrocious. His board work is absolutely awful. Gets the puck stolen from him crazy. Perunovic has a rough time on the boards as well. I know Perunovic is small and whatnot. But Thomas Hickey was small, and Thomas Hickey didn't lose a whole lot of board battles. So no excuse in your size there. Love all the other stuff that Perunovic brought. But the board work definitely needs some work. But Boquist, man, that to me, this guy was a complete nightmare. Like what I saw last game on that goal he gave up on that two on two with Horvat, and that it was just horrible. So, not liking what I seen from Boquist tonight. One shot on net, a block shot, and one hit. I don't want to judge him on just watching him one game. So we will see how that goes. Sorokin, man, what can you do, man? Nothing you can do. You got your own defenseman picking corners on you and pucks being deflected all over the ice. Not a whole lot he could do. So I really don't blame Ilya very much for tonight. Overall, I'm not really that disappointed with the Islanders at all losing the game. I did say after we lost our streak. The most important thing for us after we had our streak broken was never to lose two in a row for the rest of the season. Well, we just lost two in a row, and we've actually lost three out of four. So we have to come back re-energized, reinvigorated when we come back for the break. And this seems to be an Islander specialty. We've been doing this for years, down and out, coming off some kind of break. And all of a sudden, we go on a run. This season is not over yet. I super liked what I seen in the condensed highlights while I was away from that. I know it doesn't tell the whole story in that, but from what I saw, it looked really good. What I saw early on in this game from the Islanders looked fantastic. And if they play like that and even play the power play like they did tonight, and the PK now seems to be firing on all cylinders. I think we're going to take a real run at this thing. Like I said, we didn't get hurt too bad because everybody else lost, but we lost a great opportunity to get ourselves back into it even more. So, other than that, it's great to be back. It's great to be back in Canada. I always miss it when I'm away. Had a great time in Mexico and it's good to be back. But my biggest fear was I'd go to Mexico and I'd miss all great podcasts, fun podcasts when the honors win. And I'm watching win after win after win while I'm in Mexico. And then my biggest fear was that I'd come back to Canada, get a chance to podcast, and we'd start on a losing streak again. And already we're 0 for 1. So I hope my premonition is wrong. I'm looking forward to the Four Nations break. It's going to be some fantastic hockey to watch. I encourage everybody to watch it. I know we only got Brock in there, but it's going to be some amazing hockey. So, anyway, it's great to be back and great to be podcasting into the void. Sometimes I feel like I'm just podcasting into the void, but it's great to be back. Anyway, hope you guys and girls out there, y'all take care and peace out.